Well, welcome to the Man Cave. Mullen Biker's Man Cave, of course. On what is easily the hottest day of the year. It's a week or so since I did this ride, but 41 degrees it says in the car. Not used to this. Just had the biggies telling off. I've been doing a bit of work in the garden I shouldn't be doing, apparently. Someone in the tender age of 70 shouldn't be exerting themselves in the hot heat of the sun. It doesn't seem that bad to me, but jobs have to be done, you know. Anyway, enough of all that. Where did we go for this last one? Local. That's where we went. And more importantly, it was mainly off-road. Yeah, a bit of green laning on the Himalayan. Over towards the Plague village, if you like, Eyam, over in Derbyshire. But maybe away from one cafe to another. Yonderman cafe on the Buxton Chesterfield road, through Eyam, through the green lanes, over to Grindleford, not far from Sheffield really, it's Grindleford, to the renowned Grindleford Station tea room. And it was a good ride. It was a good ride. A little bit technical in places on the green lanes, but I managed to stay aboard. We stayed in one piece, and hopefully it's of interest. It's a run I've done several times before, and thought, hey, I can make a video out of this. This will make a decent video. So I hope you feel the same. A little bit of a story in the middle. You know what my videos are like. There's always a bit of a story involved somewhere. So have a look through it, see what you think. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. And if you really enjoyed it and you found it really interesting, drop me a comment. I do like to answer my comments. And of course, as usual, if you've not already subscribed, if you could, it'd be great. I'm getting there slowly, but anyway, see what you think. Cheers. Well, we're here at the first cafe. This is the Yonderman cafe. It's a cafe that was set up a few years ago, and it caters for bikers in particular. It was a petrol station. I do remember in years gone by there were petrol pumps here, but long since gone. And it's been a cafe for a few years. You may be able to see on the wall behind me the Yonderman emblem, if you like. And it's a great little place. It's on the Buxton Chesterfield road. I think it's A628. I can't be certain, but that's the cafe anyway. And it's and this is the start of this little journey, I suppose, really. I'm just going to have a nice mug of tea, and then we'll kick off up the road, and we'll take a green lane into the Plague village of Eyam, E-Y-A-M, in a few minutes time. So I'll see you on the road. So that's the Yonderman cafe. Time to hit the road. Well, hit the road of sorts. Tarmac for a short distance, and then we're going green laning. Now, some of these lanes, they do actually have names. A lot of them do, in actual fact, and this one in particular has a name. This is Tideswell Lane. It was the lane that used to run, probably at one time, the main lane in actual fact, from the village of Eyam to Tideswell. But like I say, it is a green lane, a little bit rough in places, but that's all part of the fun. I'll be standing on the pegs for a short distance. It's the easiest way of keeping control, to be honest, on the green lanes, on the proper unmaintained, shall we say, green lanes, because it gets a bit choppy in places, just in front of us in particular. It's good fun, good sport. Bit rocky. The important thing is to keep a little bit of momentum over the rocky bits, and it carries you through. That's the theory anyway. Sometimes we do have a little bit of a lie down, because we don't come off these things on green lanes. We have a lie down. Generally speaking, these green lanes are designated byway open to all traffic, or a boat. Now you can see from the tarmac and from the houses in front, we are actually coming into the village of Eyam itself. Eyam is often described as the plague village, and that's because of the important part that it played during the Great Plague of the 1660s. The village here became infected by the plague, allegedly as a result of a bundle of cloth being delivered to a local tailor, and the cloth was infected and it spread through the village community. I'm going to stop outside the church because it's involved, the church is involved in the actual story. Now, what happened was that, yes, the village became infected by the plague, the Great Plague as it was known, or the Bubonic Plague. And it was the rector, and together with, allegedly with the help of a formerly disgraced minister, Presbyterian minister. The rector was William, I can't think of his surname now. I'll sure I'll put it up on the screen. And he came up with a series of plans. A lot of this reflects quite recently on the terrible situation we've had over the last couple of years, the pandemic. And they effectively closed off, they quarantined the village completely, closed it off to visitors, didn't let anybody out of the village, and the way they brought supplies into the village. The suppliers, the traders, if you like, would leave the supplies at a designated place. There were rocks marked where the money would be left for them, and the money was left, the coins were left in, there were hollows carved out of the rock, and they were filled with vinegar. So the coins were actually cleaned, disinfected, if you like, by the vinegar, and that's how they lived their lives. The villagers buried their own dead, didn't involve the church, and about 250 died out of a population of 350. That's been questioned. The numbers are thought to have been quite a lot bigger in actual fact, but that's one set of figures that I've managed to find. And the other thing, the other part of the title to this video is Ring o' Roses, and it's a very popular nursery rhyme. Ring o' roses, a pocket full of posies, tissue a tissue, all fall down. Now, allegedly, that's described that was made up to represent the symptoms of the Great Plague. There was a rosy rash that extended right the way around the midriff of people infected, and they carried a posy of herbs, effectively to try and ward off this dreadful plague. And the kids would, the Ring of Roses, and the kids would dance around in a circle, and a tissue, the first symptoms of the disease, of the plague, was sneezing fits, and then of course all fall down, they died. And that's I think maybe that nursery rhyme has been made to fit the symptoms, but who knows? I mean, I'm not any person to tell, but that's what this is all about. This is the Plague Village. William Mompesson, it's just come to me. It always comes to me eventually. That was the name of the rector who brought about these measures. Lasted for 18 months. These measures were lasted for 18 months, and it was very successful. And Eyam was well known for that. Let's move on. A slightly closer look at the village. They ceased to have church services actually within the church itself, and there's quite a sizable amphitheatre shaped hollow called Cooklet Delph, and services carried on but out in the open air so that everybody could be out of reach from each other. Social distancing, I suppose, an early version of social distancing. Like I say, there's so many similarities between the Great Plague, or the Bubonic Plague, and our almost current situation. However, that's the village of Eyam. Now we're going to leave Eyam by another green lane. This one I haven't discovered a name for it yet, but it is quite a bit steeper and a little bit more rocky. So it's just a little more sporting, I suppose, really. The Nook. That's as near as you're going to get for a name to this lane. And it starts just here, so bear with me. Let's see how we go. a little bit rockier, and a little bit windier. Just quite a nice little exercise. Yep. And we're on. That was a good bit. I think. Back on the tarmac. The nook was short but sweet, I suppose. Now we're going to go over another boat. This one has an interesting name, and it's nothing to do with the bookmakers. This is Sir William Hill. Who Sir William was, I haven't found out yet, but if I do manage to find it out, I'll put it up on the screen. So back on the tarmac. And this will take us down to Grindleford, where number 2 cafe is situated. Just hope they're still open. So here we are, this is Grindleford, and the next cafe is just the other side of the village at the railway station. Its actual title, there, the Sir William Hotel. We've just come down Sir William Hill. I will find out who Sir William was. So the origins of this cafe is in its name. It's a tea room that was set up as being part and parcel of the railway station. But the railway side of things is there's not such a strong connection these days. Popular with motorcyclists, cyclists, walkers, and of course occasionally train passengers. Well, Grindleford station is situated right next to the portal for a very long railway tunnel, Totley Tunnel, that runs through. It's the Sheffield line in actual fact. Well, if it's not open, it's not the end of the world. It'd be nice to put a few pennies in the coffers. This is the first time I've turned up here and there have been no motorbikes parked up at all. So there we go. Grindleford Station tea rooms. And with that, I'll say ta-ra. It's only a short one this time, again, hopefully. So like I say, if you've enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, it'd be nice if you would subscribe. I'm up to the heady heights of 280 subscribers now. It's gone up quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, to be honest. I don't know why. I'm not complaining. But yes, if you can bring yourself to subscribe, it'd be nice if you could. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.